Every night, he woke up at exactly 3:15 a.m. It wasn't unusual for him to get a start at this time. He lived alone, after all. But these past few months had been different. The nightmares had been more frequent and the dreams more vivid. In his dreams, he'd always be running through a dark forest, desperately trying to escape an unseen presence that was always just out of sight. Then he'd wake up in a cold sweat, his heart pounding in his chest, only to find the room empty. When he turned on the light, it revealed his wife sleeping peacefully beside him. She had no idea about his nightly terrors. But he knew what they were. They were the work of his twin brother, Khan. Khan had died 6 months ago, taking his own life. And ever since, he felt like his brother's soul had come back to seek revenge. The day Khan died, he'd found a note in his brother's pocket with the chilling words, "I'll die the day you stop seeing me." At first, he thought nothing of it. After all, it was typical for Khan to be dramatic. But then the nightmares began, and the dreams became more vivid each night. And now, every night at 3:15 a.m., he'd wake up and find his wife sleeping peacefully next to him. But tonight was different. As he stared at his reflection in the mirror, he saw something that made his blood run cold. His own face was slowly morphing into Ken's. At first, he thought it was just a trick of the light, but the more he stared, the more his reflection seemed to change. He could see the familiar smirk on Ken's face, the same one he'd seen in the countless photos of his brother over the years. And then he heard Ken's voice in his head, saying, "You can't hide from me forever." He ran to the bathroom and splashed water on his face, trying to clear his head. Was he going crazy? Was this some kind of hallucination? He needed help. He needed to see a doctor. He explained everything to the psychiatrist, the dreams, the nightmares, the strange feeling that someone was watching him. The doctor listened patiently, nodding his head occasionally. When he was done, the doctor told him that he was suffering from hallucinations, a side effect of his grief over losing his brother. But he knew there was more to it than that. He felt his brother's presence everywhere he went. As the days passed, the sightings became more frequent and the hallucinations more vivid. One day, he even saw his brother's face in the crowd at a football game. He had to leave the stadium and go home because he couldn't take it anymore. He went back to the psychiatrist, who performed a mirror test. He asked him to look into the mirror and tell him what he saw. "That's not me," he screamed, pointing to the other person in the mirror. The psychiatrist was shocked. He had never seen anything like this before. He immediately sent him for an fMRI scan. When the results came back, the doctor was stunned. The left hemisphere of his brain was showing signs of activity that were consistent with Khan's personality. Meanwhile, the right hemisphere was lighting up in a way that matched his own consciousness. What he was seeing in the mirror was not a hallucination, but the physical manifestation of his twin brother's soul that had taken refuge in him at the moment of his death. At first, he was scared, but as time went on, he accepted his brother's presence. He realized that Khan wasn't there to harm him, but to protect him. Khan had always been the stronger twin, the one who had pushed him to be better, to do better. And even in death, he was still looking out for him. He shared his story with everyone, hoping to raise awareness about the importance of mental health. He also started a foundation to help those who were struggling, knowing that they would always have someone to turn to. And every night at 3:15 a.m., he wakes up and finds his brother waiting for him, ready to guide him through the darkness.